My name is Busola. I am responsible for everything IT related as the IT manager for REST centers. So I decide on the software that they choose, and I also decide on how to integrate it and how to onboard staff. REST centers actually is an acronym for Restoration and Empowerment for Social Transition. We belong in the nonprofit sector. And for those who don't know about the nonprofit sector, generally, the industry addresses social issues in a way that improves life for everyone. So, you know, when, for example, there are less homeless people on the streets, property values go up, people's standard of living is better. And what we were using before was Vestiture. You may not know it, but the thing about Vestiture was, and of course, why we started with that was because it allowed us to receive calls on one line and route it to all our staff that needed to handle the case. So, what is a case like? A case is when somebody is in need and it's urgent. They don't have a place to stay for the night. So, Versature, was very, very problematic. It had no integrations. It also did not help us address the routing effectively. So, and it didn't have a very reliable app. I looked at Ring Central. I looked at Grasshopper. You may know Grasshopper because we get a lot of buzz on media. And I also looked at I seem to forget the names. But I know Ring Central was there. I know Grasshopper was there. And while some of them were good in other things, some refused to provide a guarantee on minutes. So they refused to guarantee my cost. In essence, you could wake up with a bill with 2,000. Others did not have SMS. So there were just little things missing. So if we plotted them on what the spider graph of a thing, you would see that yours had the most area. What thought out to look for was something that would allow calls to come in from one end, from one known number, route them, record them, and also allow us to be able to track because that's what I saw about MightyCall. You had a way to track to see your analytics, to see all the calls made. But the bonus I found with MightyCall was also the API portion and also the recordings of the audio. I also found that MightyCall had number porting, right? So the numbers we were using before, we just ported them in. And of course, by the time I saw that you had a trial and you were able to schedule an onboarding, which I attended. I was one that also attended the onboarding and I was walked through the whole site, which was simple enough. Um, it was a done deal. So we ported the local line. Our local area code is 905. So we ported the local line onto Mighty Call. So the local line is what people call the most. We also have the toll-free line. So Mighty Call has toll-free line, so we bought two toll-free lines from Mighty Call. And the local line is the one most of the youths and the clients use, whereas the toll-free line is the one our stakeholders use. So the stakeholders are the donors, the government, agencies, and fellow nonprofits. The one I use most often that I bother you a lot on because it runs out is the SMS. We did not think, like we had an SMS solution, and many of our clients text us a lot, right? Now, many other your competition, they don't do a lot of SMS. Some don't even do SMS at all. But MightyCall has SMS feature, which allows us to receive SMS, and especially as many times they don't want to talk or they just have a short information. Each client has a file, and each file has a history. So we need to know what has been happening over time, which is from the time they first experienced homelessness to to the time that they got a job, to the time they're moving out, to the time they don't need us. So that's where the calls come in because not only one staff is dedicated to a client, we need to be able to follow up on what another staff did. During the pandemic, we a lot of our staff had to work from home remotely, right? And we had to check up on their performance, right? And the good thing was MightyCall allowed us to do that because we could see how many calls they picked up, how many they rejected, the roles they played, etc. Even though MightyCall had enough intuition to put the address book inside MightyCall, which to me is a big bonus. We don't have to search for numbers or connect the numbers to the names. The thing is, all the rest of the information, the rest of the data for our clients is still on Salesforce. So we would have to refer to that if we wanted to talk about their job, their location, their family, things like that, confidential stuff. So in the end, we have to go Salesforce. So what an integration would do, or what we expected, is that while we're on Salesforce, we can make notes on each client's file and say, we met with this client today. There has been a lot of improvement. He's doing well. We will soon close the file, something like that. Our job is not done until there is no homeless youth on the street. So we'll be very happy and pleased once all the youths have been housed and they have their lives back on track.